So here's this young lad, young Newfoundlander in Saskatchewan now. He's been there for 3 weeks and he's not finding a whole lot of work, and boy, he's missing fishing. And he's in Saskatchewan, so there's no lakes, there's no rivers, he's just dying to go fishing. And as he's putting down the dirt road one day, he looks behind his farmer's house and he sees this little pond back there. That's an idea. Pulls up to the farmer's house, goes up, knocks on the door. Farmer happens to be in the house having some breakfast. Opens the door, sees this big newfie standing there, and he says, "Yes, sir. How can I help you?" And he says, "Well, sir," he says, I'm new to Saskatchewan. I'm actually from Newfoundland, and I've been here now for 3 weeks. And I did an awful lot of fishing when I was back home, and I got a powerful hankering to do some more of it. And I just haven't found a place to do it, but I see you have a little fish pond behind your house there. Would you mind terribly if I went and just put a line in that?" Sonny says, "No." He says, "I wouldn't mind." He said, "But that's a little goldfish pond back there. I built it myself 3 or 4 years ago. Well, if you know anything about Canadian and Saskatchewan winters, that thing froze solid and killed the fish the first year. I've never replaced them." He says, "Well,
just be killed next year.
Just to put the line in the water would just make me feel good. Would you mind?" He says, "No, go ahead."
Tickle his fancy.
Not 15 minutes later, this farmer hears his knock at the door again. He goes to the door and here's the newfie standing there with a big 3-pound trout. "Where did you get those from the pond?" And "Well, yes, sir." He says, I don't need all 3 of them here. You take 2. I'll just take the 1. And thanks a lot for letting me do that. I really do appreciate it." So he goes away, and the farmer's standing there with these 2 fish. He can hardly believe what's just happened. Anyway, next day, farmer's sitting around the house. We're around breakfast time again. Knock at the door. Goes to the door, and here's this big newfie standing there again. He says, "Sir," he says, "I really hate to bother you now 2 days in a row." He says, "But when I was here fishing yesterday, I noticed you've got some honeysuckle bushes back in your property there." And he says, I wonder if you'd allow me to go and collect some honey." Thinks about this, and he says, "Well, son," he says, "again, I wouldn't mind." He says, "But you don't get honey from honeysuckle bushes. You know that, right?" He says, "Well, I used to go with my auntie, and it would just do my heart good. I'm so lonesome and homesick. Son, have at it." So away he goes. About 15 minutes later, knock at the door. I guess what I'm going to be seeing here. Open the door. Here's the newfie standing there. 3 big tubs of honey. Well, you're not going to tell me you got that honey from those honeysuckle bushes over there. He says, "Sarah," he says, I don't need all this honey. You take 2 buckets. I'll just take the 1. And thanks a lot for letting me do that. It just makes me feel like I'm at home again." "Okay, son." And away he goes, and he's looking at these 2 buckets of honey. He's looking at this man disappearing in his driveway. Amazing. Well, next morning, knock at the door. Well, farmer's there in a flash because, now what? There's the Newfoundlander. He says, "Sir," he says, "I know it's 3 days in a row and I really shouldn't be here bothering you like this again." He says, "But yesterday when I was here collecting the honey from your honeysuckle bushes, I noticed you got some pussy willows on your property." Farmer looks at him and says, "Hang on, I'll get my hat and my coat. I'll be right with you."
Wishful thinking.